What is up, car addicts? Welcome back to the series where I build popular movie slash TV show vehicles using cars in GTA Online. Remember to let me know down below in the comments what movie slash TV show car you want to see me customize next, and I'll display the most liked vehicle suggestion comment in the next build video. Now again guys, remember that I do have a separate series for the Fast and Furious cars, so again, this movie slash TV show series is for the other popular movie vehicles. So in today's video, we're going to be building the Jaguar C-X75 from the James Bond film Spectre, starring Daniel Craig. An absolutely incredible Bond film, and honestly, while most people were focused on that DB10 during that infamous chase scene, I was in awe of that beautiful Jaguar that the villain was driving. So there were actually 4 CX-75 stunt cars made for the film, and they even use one of the prototype CX-75s for like the interior and glamour shots, totaling 5 CX-75s used in the movie. Now sadly, the CX-75 never made it into full production, which is a real shame. There was one concept made in silver with some crazy turbine electric sort of system, and then they actually made some sort of production style variants. But unfortunately the car just never made it into full production. But this is by far my favorite car that Jaguar has ever designed. But anyways, the car we're going to be using for this build is obviously the Ocelot XA-21, which is directly based on the CX-75. Now this car used to be available from the Legendary Motorsport website for just under 2.4 million. However, this car sadly was one of the removed website cars. So you're going to have to utilize one of the many methods to get this car or any of the other removed website cars, which I've made a video thoroughly covering, link down below, which covers both old gen and current gen methods as well. But anyways, let's go ahead and start the build for the Jaguar CX-75 from the movie Spectre. Alright, Spectre CX-75, let's do it. Alright, so as usual for all these builds, I always do max armor performance upgrades, so we'll do that. Now, starting off with the front bumper, you have different splitter options here. The car didn't have a front splitter, just had the stock looking front bumper, so you want to keep that stock. Rear diffuser, the stock one is actually going to be the closest, so you definitely want to keep that. So stock front and rear bumpers. Engine tunes will max out. Engine block. So the stock engine block actually looks very similar to the real one, so definitely want to keep the one of the stock variants. Now the real one had pretty much like full carbon back here. Unfortunately, there's no stock engine carbon. It's either stock, which is like silver, then you got chrome, primary, secondary, and then you have all the other ones which don't look like the actual one. So here you're sort of faced with a decision, and we can't make the secondary black, for example, because the secondary color is actually linked to like the side intake area. So yeah, in my opinion, I think you're better off going with the chrome, so that's what we're gonna do there. Engine cover. So this is basically the vent on the engine cover area. I've looked through all of these, so you can see this one here removes the side vents, which you don't want to do. So the side vents right there, the top of the fenders there, or the quarter panels. So you want to keep those. And the real car also, the back end, so the design on the XA-21 is a bit different than the real one. The rear window is more rounded. It doesn't have this vent back here. So it's up to you if you want to do the primary cover or secondary with the vents, or if you want to keep it in the black. So that's all personal preference there. Personally, I think the black looks a bit better. I think like this, the window just looks too small. It kind of gives it that illusion of looking like a smaller window. I think it just looks kind of strange and not enough contrast back here. Plus the real one also has like black or carbon vents down the sides. So I think personally, you're better off going with the stock just to have that black contrast there. So we'll keep that. Exhaust. So the real car had the exhaust kind of like exiting under the diffuser, really strange, it's sort of like hidden. So this car has it in GTA. It's very bold and out there. You know, it's it's coming right there out of the center. So it's not really hidden like the real one. So I think you're probably, I mean, stock is definitely way too ridiculous. So I think either big bore, or maybe chrome tip. Let me give it some throttle here, or maybe like quadrants. So I mean, here it comes down to personal preference. You can put whichever one you want. Personally, I think I'm gonna go with the chrome quadrant exhaust. I think that one just looks the best on the back of this car. But you know, it's all personal preference. But I'm gonna go with this one. But for this option, there's nothing that's similar, so I guess you can just pick whichever one you want. Grill. So we actually do have a very similar grill to the real one. So you want to go down here to the carbon graded grill. This looks almost identical to the real one. The real one had the carbon trim and everything. This is perfect. So carbon graded grill. Hood. So the car did have a vented hood. So you want to go with the ram air hood for this one. See that there, looks awesome. Lights. The car did sort of have like bluish lights, so you can sort of see it in the film. So we want to do the xenon lights for this. Mirrors. So the car did have primary, you know, full primary colored mirrors. So you want to skip this option here, do the stock mirrors for that. Plate. So the plate on the real car was Roma 860K. So I went ahead and made that here in GTA. Now, unfortunately, we can't do the space because we're maxed out on our character limit here for plates. So yeah, I just wanted to just kind of put it together there. And then for the background, you can probably go with the, I mean, the real one had like a black with a white font. So I think the black with the yellow font will probably be the closest. So we're going to do that. Or you can also go with, you know, one of the white backgrounds here. But all personal preference, I'm going to go with this one. Respray. So for this one, I'm going to show you guys a color that you can do if you don't want to utilize custom crew colors. So we'll start off with that. You want to go to metallic, then you want to go down here to sienna brown, and then you want to put on here pearlescent. It's going to be, where is it? Bright orange. So this is going to be the closest out of the normal colors we have available. In direct sunlight, it looks better. But that's going to be the closest there. You could also go with a metallic sunrise orange, but it's just way too bright compared to the real car. And then throw on here a, scroll down here, throw on here like a bright orange pearl. It looks decent, but I still think it's just too bright. Honestly, this one's probably closer to the sienna brown, but it's sort of somewhere in between those two. So I went ahead and made a crew color here, and boom. So I didn't make this. I found this in GTAcolors.net. I actually made one at first, but it came out too faded, sorta. So this one from GTA Colors is almost identical to the real one. So you want to put this on here, and I know it looks a bit reddish, but once we apply the pearlescent, you're gonna see the massive change in this color. Scroll down here to pearlescence, and you want to throw on here the bright orange pearl, and look at that. It is insane how close that is. In direct sunlight, it looks incredible, but even with the lights reflecting off the paint here, it is just perfect. So absolutely love that, and I'll leave this custom hexed down below in the description for those of you who want to utilize it. But secondary color is actually the side intake area on the door, and also the door handle. So that's part of that there. So for this, you just want to make it match crew color, because the real car had the side vent area in the primary color, so we'll make that match. Trim color is actually your interior. The car had a black like suede interior, so you kind of want to keep that the same. I wouldn't do full black. I think it's too dark. So either graphite or anthracite black, maybe even black steel, even though it's kind of still too gray. So I think graphite is the way to go. Roof. So the real car did have like a roof antenna, but it was a single one. Here you have the multiple vortex generators. It would have been nice if they would have given us just a single roof fin. That would have been sick, but they didn't, unfortunately. And I think this is just too ridiculous to reference one roof fin. I think it's just throws off the design on top. So we're gonna skip this and leave it stock. Skirts. So the car did have a carbon side skirt, and the closest is actually going to be the carbon extender. So it's kind of hard to see it there, but if I go You can see it there, and if I go back here, you can see it removes it. So yeah, definitely want to go with that one. You don't want to go with the street skirt because it kind of extends it. It's just too low. The carbon one is higher, as you can see, so that's what you want. So carbon extender, suspension. So they used 5 cars for the film, and they had a bunch of different suspension settings on each one depending on what stunt it was doing. So for example, the scene with the staircase, that one had a custom like rally style suspension, and it was lifted pretty high so it can clear everything and not obviously get damaged. And then the other ones that were using like the street drifting scenes, those were lowered more. So you really can't get it exact, but I think personally we're better off getting closest to like the street looking car. So I think stock is definitely too high, but also lowered all the way is definitely too low. So personally, I think that either street or sport is where you're going to want to go with. So it's personal preference. I'm going to go somewhere in between. I think street is the one I'm going to go with, so we'll do that. Transmission will max out. Same thing with the turbo. Now, the real car was a 4-cylinder, well, the concept one had some crazy turbine system with 4 electric motors and some absolute craziness that would never make it into production. But then the pre-production variants they made that was supposed to be more of what the actual production version was supposed to be, those had a 4-cylinder turbo engine with 2 electric motors. So some crazy hybrid system. I think it made like 800 combined horsepower, something crazy like that. But the ones used in the film, the stunt cars, they actually had a supercharged V8 derived from the F-Type. So that's pretty cool. Personally, I prefer the V8. It sounds better, and Rockstar actually gave this car an exhaust note that sounds more like a V8. I'm not sure if that was intentional or not, but that's very cool. So we'll put the turbo upgrade there, even though the ones used in the film were supercharged, but it was supposed to reference the pre-production one. It's up to you. But wheels, so the stock wheels are actually pretty much identical to the real car, so you definitely don't want to change these. Now I know the annoying thing on here is those center caps. Oh, it's really annoying. I know. There's nothing we can do about that. It's force linked to your primary color, so you can see there it's force linked. I wish it was linked to secondary or something, or I don't know. It's just really annoying. There's nothing we can do about that, so you're gonna have to kind of live with it. And a little detail I noticed, if you look at the valve stem, I kind of put an arrow to it here. You can see it actually puts the color on there too, so kind of cool little detail there. But yeah, we're stuck with the orange center caps. It just is what it is. And then windows, the car didn't have any tints, but I think personally the windows in GTA without tints, they're just way too transparent and clear. It looks like the windows are down. So I'm gonna go with the light smoke there, so it looks a bit more realistic. And that's all the options. All right, let's take it for a drive. Looks so good. Alright, I did wait for it to be daytime so I can show you guys the color a bit better in direct sunlight. So let's hop over here. Look at that. Oh, that's absolute perfection. That looks so good. Absolutely amazing. Yeah, this color is pretty much spot on. Looks so good. First person here. All the paddle shifters are also color matched to your primary color. I didn't know that. Huh. Look at that. That's pretty sick. Yeah, this thing's awesome. Alright, floored here. Got the active wing coming up just like the real car. So cool. Got the plate and everything. And then, you know, other than doing a movie car build with this, you know, that was the purpose of this video. The XA-21 itself, it is such an amazing car. Obviously, there's a ton of bias here. It's my personal favorite car in the entire game as an overall car. But, I mean, there's a reason for that. The exhaust note, listen to that. You let off the throttle, you give it gas, I mean, and then the way it drives, it is so easy to drive. I mean, it hugs the corners, doesn't spin out. I mean, it takes a lot to spin this car out. Super easy to drive, it's all-wheel drive. It doesn't have a ton of understeer, even if you give it throttle early, like most all-wheel drive cars. The acceleration is fantastic, the top speed as well. I mean, it's just such an awesome car. As you saw from the customization, it has plenty of customization to back it as well. I mean, I just love this thing. I really do. And the brakes are fantastic. I mean, the whole car is just awesome. Driving experience and all. I've always loved the XA-21, and doing a movie build like this with it, it's just awesome. And the color and everything, I mean, it just turned out so nice. But, alright, let's go ahead and pull over and open all the doors and stuff here. Go right there. Okay, let's go here. Vehicle doors. Nice, everything opens up. The front compartment there. We got the doors like butterfly style, like the real one. Looks so cool. And then the engine model, just the whole engine bay looks super similar to its real life counterpart. Absolutely love that with all the hybrid wiring and stuff. I mean, Rockstar did a really good job with this. Got the plate back there. Got some carbon accents there. I mean, this thing is just awesome. Super awesome. It is a shame it was a removed car. It just is what it is. You're gonna have to utilize other methods to get it, which, you know, I always leave the video that I explain how to do that down below in the comments. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the Spectre Jaguar C-X75 build. I think this thing turned out fantastic. I mean, in this color, it's pretty easily recognizable as that car from the film. I mean, it's pretty obvious. The plate kind of gives it away if you're a, you know, James Bond fan. But again, anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and definitely let me know what movie/TV show build you want to see me do next, and I'll see you in the next one.